Yo, how's it going? Right, so I know this video is super late because the Avengers gameplay trailer, everything is out. You probably all seen it. You've all watched it. You all know what's going on. And if you have seen it, if you haven't seen it, go watch it now. It looks super good. It's just blown my mind that I'm finally getting the Avengers game that I've always wanted. It is essentially like Final Fantasy 15, but with Marvel superheroes. It's amazing. It's exactly what I want. A little bit of God of War in there, a little bit of Final Fantasy 15, a little bit of everything. It is so good, and I really want to share my thoughts with it. First off, I'm going to talk about how individual characters look like they're going to play. Then I'm going to talk a bit about the story. Then I'm going to talk about who I want in the game and what I want the game to end up being. So what it looks like at the moment is it looks like very much like what Destiny is doing, where they have the base game. They'll release content over a specific period of time, a year to 2 years, I think. I haven't played Destiny. I only know that about it, and it's a shooty gun bang, and it's a shooty bang bang game in space. That's all I know about it. But it essentially has the same content drop rate or kind of system as Destiny has, which I don't know how to feel about that. I'm kind of against it, I see where they're coming from. I see why, because it kind of makes it feel a bit more like a comic book where you have to wait every month for a little bit more of the story. So I can kind of get that, but part of me wishes, why can't we just get everything when the game drops, like other games, Why do we have to wait? I like that we don't have to pay for anything, apart from cosmetic stuff, and maybe some loot boxes. I'm not against that decision. It's just the kind of waiting thing. In the context of this, time really is money. But let's talk about the characters that we've seen so far, the gameplay that we've seen so far. We start off with Thor, who looks very much like he plays the exact same as Kratos. Just there's a lot more AoE stuff. I like that. Apparently you can branch off into two lanes. You can branch off and build your character however you want, which I love. That is quintessential Square Enix right there. I want to be able to make a super godlike, OP fucking crowd control Thor that literally will control every crowd, and I want that Thor, because boy howdy was that Thor not apparent in the 2010 game. Boy howdy was that a disappointment. But yeah, I really want Thor to be done justice, because the last game Thor's appeared in, not too good. Not talking about the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, even though in those Thor was a bit toned down. But here I hope that he reaches the power level that he should be. Iron Man looks kind of the least interesting for me. It's kind of the first half is a rail shooter, the second half is kind of third person shooter-esque with a little bit of combat. I like it. It looks fun, but I don't feel like Iron Man is going to be my favourite character to play as. Then we have Hulk, who looks like my favourite character to play as. Hulk is always my favourite character to play as in games like this. and I'm so glad that they haven't toned down Hulk. I would have hoped he was a bit more Ultimate Destruction like, but then again, this is only like the start of the game, and he's already this powerful. Imagine what he can do later on. Imagine what he can do when you actually fight the Abomination. Boy, another thing that I kind of noticed is every mission, is the whole game going to play out like this intro, or is it going to be like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, where you can swap what character you're playing as? Or is it going to be like Final Fantasy 15, where you're going to play as the character that you decide at the start of the mission, and you have 4 others that accompany you, but you don't get to play as them? That's what Square Enix has done before with Final Fantasy 15 and with Kingdom Hearts, and I feel like that is what they're going to do here. It's a tried and tested method, so why break it? But I feel like, yeah, you've shown off that you can play as these characters. Why not give us the chance to swap out on the fly, instead of swapping out when you get to, say, a save point where you can swap out who you're playing as? I don't know. I would like it either of those ways. I feel like having it all play like the intro, where it's like you're taking control of each character for 5-minute segments. That won't really work for an RPG. I'm not into that kind of style, if you know what I'm going on about. We then see Cap, who, Cap. It's Captain America. He throws his shield. He punches some guys. Yeah, it's Captain America. He looks kind of like the most vanilla character to play as. Maybe he gets some cool stuff. Maybe he does some cool stuff with his shield later on. But apparently he dies. So I don't know where in the plot he is going to come back, because it's obvious that he's going to come back. Is he going to come back towards the end? Is he going to come back like towards the start, and you'll have the whole game with Cap? Are you going to have like him show up halfway through? What's the whole thing with Cap? Or is Cap going to stay dead, and the actual replacement for Cap is going to be like Falcon, and he'll have the same Captain America abilities, and he'll have more with the wings and stuff? Or will it be Bucky? Or, here's my pitch. Don't have Captain America come back. They have a new Captain America, and it's US Agent. US Agent is going to be the Captain America in this game, and you're going to be playing as US Agent throughout the game until the end, where Steve Rogers comes back, and you have to fight US Agent as Steve Rogers. That's my pitch for what they should do with Captain America in this. Black Widow is probably the most surprising character, because you would think Black Widow, she's probably going to be the least interesting to play as. No, she continues the theme of jumping onto the most dangerous thing like around, and she's just it's essentially like playing as Black Widow. You can turn invisible, you can electrify people. I'll be interesting to see how that goes. Is that going to go as far to play into like kind of AoE like Thor can do but light? Or is that going to go into like full on? Is she going to be like a full on DPS character where she's going to be kind of like the glass cannon? I feel like you should go glass cannon with Black Widow over kind of AoE stuff. Leave the AoE to kind of Thor and maybe Hulk, and have the DPS glass cannons be Black Widow and Iron Man, and Captain America can kind of straddle a line in the middle. How do I think that Hank Pym is going to play? Because we've seen that Hank Pym's going to be in the game, and he's probably going to be a playable character. That would be interesting. I don't feel like whenever you're going to play as him, you're going to be able to miniaturize and then enemies become levels within themselves. It would be interesting if you had a boss fight like that, when you're playing as Hank Pym and there's a boss fight where it is kind of you're smaller and it's kind of like the boss is a level in itself, kind of like the Kronos fight in God of War 3. That would be interesting, but I also would like to see like the size be like kind of like the super moves, and where he can change size, kind of like where he can change size on a whim, but also becoming huge is kind of like the big super move. Essentially, it's going to be difficult to like have like Ant-Man / Giant Man in a game without him feeling either severely overpowered or severely underpowered. But I feel like they can straddle a line through it. If they can straddle a line for Iron Man, they can straddle a line for Thor, they can straddle a line for Hulk, and make them feel powerful but not overpowered, then I feel like they can pretty much do that with every character. My one gripe is how will they make, because they're going to be adding more characters subsequently, how will they make them feel different to the base 5? There's obvious characters that they can add that will feel like different, like Captain Marvel, like Black Panther, like Vision, like Scarlet Witch, like Quicksilver. They will feel different as a base anyway, but then you have characters like War Machine and characters like, I don't know, Bucky, Sam Wilson. You have characters like that who will feel at a base the same as like War Machine will feel the same. Will probably feel the same as Iron Man, unless if they make War Machine like a bulkier, more tanky version of Iron Man, where Iron Man's more about being fast and, you know, getting in and out of situations quickly, and then War Machine's more like being on the ground level, fighting hand to hand and using like rocket launchers and heavy artillery, where Iron Man's more about staying at range and staying away from the opponent. I feel like that's an interesting way to do it, and that would be a very interesting way to have those characters feel differently. And then, but having Bucky or Winter Soldier feel different to Cap would be very difficult, and having Sam Wilson feel different to Cap, unless you have him just be Falcon. But even then, what are you going to do with Falcon? How's Falcon going to be the be all and end all in this game? If they manage to make Black Widow feel fun to play, then I feel like they can make any character feel fun to play. But yeah, I am very excited for this. I'm going to talk about plot now, because I kind of have to talk about the plot, because the plot is essentially Avengers Endgame but with a different coat of paint. Big massive event happens, causes the team to split up and go their separate ways. Then the team has to come together to kind of take vengeance on those killed in this big event that happened several years ago. That's Avengers Endgame, but that's also this, and I hope they do stuff with it. I hope they do stuff with it. Another thing that I kind of saw comparisons to was Age of Ultron, the comic event, not the film, where it's kind of where the Avengers have gone into hiding and the whole world is like ruled and governed by Ultron robots. Here it's the heroes have gone into hiding and the world is kind of governed by AIM robots. Which is why I'm thinking that the big villain at the end will be MODOK. Or the leader. Or someone along those lines. It'd be interesting to see those in a game. Because we haven't seen the leader in a game since the 2003 Hulk game. And we haven't seen MODOK in a game, I don't think ever, since like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1. He was also in Disney Infinity 2.0, but we don't talk about that. Yeah, I'm very interested to see where the plot goes for this. The Adaptoids are in the game. We know that the Adaptoids are in the game, because we've seen the Adaptoids in the game. And those will be very interesting to see, fights against, because the first fight being against Taskmaster, whose ability literally is to adapt and copy fighting styles of superheroes, which is why I think why did you have Black Widow fight Taskmaster? I know for gameplay reasons it makes a more interesting fight, but if you're gonna have a character who can copy fighting styles, why don't you send in the character who doesn't have a fighting style? Like Hulk. He doesn't have a fighting style. What is his fighting style? And I'm sure his fighting style is not something that Taskmaster can copy. But yeah. What else was I meant to say? Oh yeah, the characters that I hope and pray are going to be in the game, if not throughout the story, at least peppered in over the next 2 years. Because I feel like they could be the most interesting characters for a game like this. I want to see Blade. He has a movie coming up. It can draw hype towards the movie. It can make the character relevant before the movie comes out. B, he's a very cool character. He fights vampires with swords, stakes, knives, like throwing stars. The amount of moves that you can give him are endless, really. And you can have him be a competent hand-to-hand fighter, you can have him use his sword, you can have him use guns, you can have him do whatever. There's plenty of stuff you can draw from the comics for costumes and for like loot and gear. And I just really want to see Blade in a game. Ghost Rider is another character that I really want to see, and Moon Knight. Moon Knight, he's getting a show on Disney Plus. It can draw some like eyes to his character and let people know this guy exists. He's real, and you're getting a show with him. Do you enjoy how he is in this game? Then go watch the show on Disney Plus and buy our service. Also, I feel like Moon Knight and Blade would play very similarly, but Moon Knight has like a lot of the technology and stuff, and he has like the moon god Khonshu as well, which also that would be super cool to have and to use. And all the technology that he has at his disposal would be really cool to have and use as well. Ghost Rider, just because Ghost Rider in a video game would be awesome. And I remember that Ghost Rider video game that tied into the Nick Cage movie, and that was fucking badass. I loved playing that game. But yeah, I really want Ghost Rider, I really want Blade, I really want Moon Knight. And maybe I know they're throwing in Miss Marvel, and they're probably only throwing in Miss Marvel because, hey, she's getting a show. Look at the show. Do you like this character in this game? Go watch her show. So we'll probably see She-Hulk popping up. We'll probably see Shang-Chi popping up. We'll probably see some of the Eternals popping up. God knows how they'll work them into the plot, but they'll find a way. Thanos is probably going to be the big bad at the end, because of course he is. I don't know. They might pop in the Fantastic Four because, hey, they're getting a movie coming out soon. Why don't we put them in? Because you like these characters in here. Go watch their movie. They'll probably put in Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange would be fucking badass. Doctor Strange needs a game. Doctor Strange needs a solo game because he has so many good villains. He has so many good areas that he explores. He has so many cool untapped abilities, and a game is the only way that they can fully explore all of what Doctor Strange can truly do. Because the films did alright, but they're nowhere near crazy enough. Nowhere near. Maybe this new film, into the Doctor Strange Into the Mouth of Madness, or Into the Multiverse of Madness. I feel like that film could do a lot better of a job of just showing off how crazy the world of Doctor Strange is. We're talking about a guy who one of his big villains is a giant eye with tentacles. No arms, no legs, it's just got tentacles. It's a giant star eye. That is amazing. That is crazy. I want to see that in a game. I want to fight that thing. I want a proper boss fight against Dormammu. I want all that stuff in a game. And they can probably put that in here. If they put Doctor Strange in here, they can have a whole quest line with Doctor Strange where you're fighting Dormammu and fighting Baron Mordo and all that jazz. But yeah, I really want to see Doctor Strange in a game like this. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about the new Avengers game. One last quick thing that I wanted to mention. I am aiming to have start streaming on Twitch. I have no idea how to do that because I have no idea how Streamlabs works. I've got it, but I don't know how it works. I don't know how to connect it when streaming on YouTube. I don't know if it connects automatically or not. I have no idea how to I do have an idea how to connect my camera to my laptop, but I need some drivers or something. I need to download some drivers on there. So as soon as I am able to stream, as soon as I know the ins and outs and the basics of streaming video games, I will start live streaming on YouTube. Also, I don't have a TV in my room. I probably need a TV in my room because I don't play PC. So I probably need to buy myself a TV. But yeah, as soon as I have everything set up, I will start live streaming on Twitch. I'll probably add a link to my Twitch account on this video anyway, just in case you do want to pop over and give me a follow before I start streaming anything. I might even move my live streams on here onto there, my IRL ones, just because mostly because the notification system on YouTube is bollocks, and because live streaming on YouTube is bollocks, to be honest. It's going to be much easier if I just live stream off my phone. I can't live stream off my phone on YouTube because I don't have 1,000 subscribers, which is absolute bollocks, to be honest. I don't get it. I don't like it. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about the new Avengers game. It looks super good. I can't wait to play it. I can't wait when it comes out to play it. I'm definitely going to live stream it. 100% going to live stream it. If you do want to check me out on Twitch, go over to my Twitter as well and suggest some games for me to live stream, because I am severely out of ideas. The only thing I have at the moment is I could play Bloodborne on there, and I could do some grinding on Injustice 2 on there. That's the only things that I've got. It's the only two ideas. Maybe play Spider-Man again live, and play Kingdom Hearts 3 again live, because yeah, that would be super cool. And also, it would be also super cool if I could play Axiom Verge on there, because I fucking love Axiom Verge. It's a really good Metroidvania, and I have yet to beat it. I could beat it live on stream for you guys to see. So that would be super awesome. And I will see you guys in the next video. Usual social media links in the description, plus my Twitch as well in the description, just in case you want to check it out. Peace.